back in World War One. I can't wait to do that. Yeah, it could be that. Well, armored cars. Okay. Yep. Yep. Destroy radio. Something we need to save. Crutch. Ugh. Created by the crutch. Go. Right, radio's disabled. What do we got? Hunt down. Hey, this looks like an American poster. He wanted to go to that extra mile. Oh. What? What? I could just shoot him. No? do you know this? I mean, did we send them by airdrop? Derail. Well. Ooh, bazooka. There we go. I really like these forest areas. This nature and stuff. Gosh. So, you know, it's something interesting to see what life in late 1945 in Europe. Well, actually, no, there's a lot of hardships on that day, but what would be like? What would the French have done after their place was liberated? What exactly were they doing? I mean, like, living out their lives, but did they provide support to the Allies afterwards? Oh. Frame rate. It going nuts. Frame rate is going nuts. Ooh, demolition charges. Turbulence must be going up to the Oh, no. Damn it, there's always someone with a bazooka. Oh my grenade. Where's the grenade? Can't handle the lag. Oh, I didn't know. Oh. Uh, Sometimes you kind of underestimate the technology. Okay. Go. You know, you kind of underestimate policies, laws, and technology in the 40s. I mean, during the war, there was some big improvements to stuff. Like, the difference of a new type of technology can make the difference between going from poor to from being from quick modernization. That's a good term to say. Man, jeez. Well, by World War II, I'd say about 50 years ago, Japan was still in a feudal system, and they were still not heavily. They didn't have had such standard equipment for some sort of indoor plumbing. Maybe not indoor plumbing, but more like. It's pretty much, it's like when America came onto some of those fancy ships, like steam-powered ships, they still had muskets, or at least a few bolt-action rifles, but they're just, this shows that their technology-wise, they were way behind. But, oh, okay, where am I going with this? Nowhere. This is such a stupid story. This whole thing is just revolving around a new design that could tip the balance of power of World War. But when you look at it, look at the history of what came of it, it was one of many mistakes Hitler made that might have helped them. I mean, heck, look at this gun. This gun called the STG-44 Stun gun? Yeah. This was only issued usually by the SS officers, but Hitler didn't want a new revolutionary weapon that is pretty much like the pretty much the ancestral to the assault rifle. A weapon that acts as both as an SMG and a rifle. Now, there is debate on which was the first assault rifle. You could say there was a Russian gun before that could be the precursor to the assault rifle, but usually the Stun 44 pretty much had all the similarities to what came after it. Would be, say, the AK-47, which, since the Russians claimed got all these weapons and then decided, get someone to make a gun that is cheap, effective, and heavily reliable. And they made a good one. A few variations, and people still use it. Still is being used, but it took so long to get out of it because it was very cheap to make. I think it was just made out of wood, not a wood, and just mostly wood frame and steel. Ugh. But back to stories that Hitler didn't want the assault rifle. This assault rifle. But then again, Germans made a lot of revolutionary weapons that a lot were very good in theory, but not so good in practice. And heck, even every ally had their sort of weapon like it. I mean, the Americans used the British made much better, great and elegant aircraft, and Americans made the P-51, all the B-17 bombers. Everyone was just making, and there's like a whole discussion on aircraft that I would have a hard time trying to describe it. But some really unique things they created. One, British radar. The Germans, the Enigma code. America. They used to make up. They used to be bats carrying incendiary bombs to bomb Japan. Not really. That actually did happen. There was also the earthquake bomb, a bomb that creates earthquakes, and I think it was used in Italy once to destroy a bridge or a giant bridge, but then all of those were cancelled because of the atom bomb. Then you got another thing from Germany, the wind cannon, which the prototype was a success, but by the actual practical of it, it still couldn't reach aircraft that the Americans produced, because they could go as higher than the wind cannon, but hard to do. Then Germans created heavy tanks. The Tiger, I think it's because of a legacy. Also, they made magnetic bombs, which magnet mines, which none of the troops did. Strangely enough, there wasn't in World War II there wasn't a heavy thesis on gas, especially the Germans. They think they refused to use any type of gas, or any lethal intention. They didn't use any lethal gas, or at least on soldiers. Civilian populations, the Holocaust, yeah, they'd use that, but for soldiers, they didn't use it. But you got it, which Hitler was almost blinded by gas, so yeah, I think he wouldn't want gas to be used on his worst enemies. But then there was other stuff that could topple gas at times. But again, though I'm not sure if the British or America did, but they had plenty of bombs that were more powerful and less lethal than focus on gas. Plus, gas was counted as pretty much an illegal weapon by the Hague Convention, or some form of convention after World War I. Oh shoot! It's gonna blow! Oh, never mind. So, what else was created? Germany made the V2 rocket and the V1. It's a guided missile that if combined with rockets for lethality, it could be used as a ballistic weapon, a ballistic rocket. And something like that with an atom bomb would be devastating. You wouldn't need to use an airplane to fly around and just bomb anyone. It wouldn't fly and just drop it. It would have been shot up. Pretty much the rockets that everyone was promoting back in the Cold War, those was inspired from the V2 rockets. America and Russia made it first, then America got promoted to make it, which they didn't care about making until the Russians got the A-bomb and the ballistic bomb. But soon, the scientists that made those bombs soon made rockets. Made rockets for spacecraft. Which is strange that the biggest achievement on Earth, or arguably the best achievement on Earth, was caused by a giant paranoia and military funding, heavy military funding, just to spite, not spite, it's not the word, to, well, win at the space race. Now, it's strange that today you don't usually hear about any new achievements of scientists or academic stuff being... Not sure, does the news ever look into any of this new science stuff and stuff that might be worth knowing? Like a science section? I mean, they've got the sports stuff, but the science section, there's always a few things that are still coming new, because recently I learned that during the evolution of the Homo, there was possibility that the Homo erectus, the theory that they came they were the evolution, they were sort of like the evolution, sort of like a half evolution, some sort of evolution between, oh no, they were like, let's see, what's the word, cousins of the Homo sapiens, like both of them just stayed together in Africa or some area that was warm, and then once winter came, the Homo erectus were the first ones to move, but some of it involved that it was theory that they were very lazy. Now, they had great legs, great strength, but they would like be the masters of procrastinating, not innovating anything, or doing anything to change their routine. Example be that they would make their material out of some sort of stone on the ground, but they know that there's a stronger stone on top of, say, a small hill or something, and they wouldn't bother getting it, even though they know it is a stronger material. I don't know, it's a bad example, but that's kind of how it was.
Supplies and production were vital areas of the war in which the Allies dominated.
Oh, also the Germans invented the jerry can. Yes, they actually invented the jerry can.
Methodical strafing of the railroads and rail yards left behind broken trains
Also,
stalled on destroyed tracks. Without fuel, Germany's heavy weapons were useless. Its vaunted panzers immobilized and its planes grounded. The German infantry was left to carry on the fight alone.
Also, the Germans made what we would today call pretty much a much better painkiller than the Allies. The Allies made used painkiller was morphine, highly addictive and a lot of complications. But 2 shots of the army issued surplus morphine. Our first injection possibly does pain, but you are very woozy or not. you'd be knocked out of combat. Second, painkiller would just most likely kill you. But the Germans made what could be described as, I think, let me be more specific on it. I think they made what would be today's equivalent of painkiller. German. Let's see. Drugs made in Germany. Oh, list of German inventors and discoveries. Okay. We're gonna look at P. Let's see. They had these in order by year. Explain the boundary layer and its importance for drag and streamlining in aircraft. Oh, okay. Oh, this is by names. Damn it. Come on, like, there were painkillers of stuff like meth and heroin, aspirin, all that. Wait, methadone was first synthesized in 1938 by German scientists Max Bock-Mill and name that I can't pronounce at the IG Pharma company. They were searching for a painkiller that would be easier to use during surgery with less addiction potential than morphine or heroin. That's it! Oh, 1937, so yeah. The Nazi Party was all power, or at least hold a huge power in the political war in 1937 in Germany. And